recognize Zach Wells is here tonight. He's an alumnus of the Trinity University as well, and he is the very talented gentleman who puts together all of the videos that you will see later this evening. So thank you, Zach. Thank you. And now, I'm honored to introduce our president, Dr. Vanessa Beasley. Under President Beasley's leadership, Trinity has continued to rise, and it's been pretty remarkable to see what she's accomplished in only 2 years. This year alone, Trinity was named the #1 liberal arts institution in Texas and #19 liberal arts institution in the US by niche. The Princeton Review designated Trinity as one of the top 50 best value colleges for 2024, and most recently, Trinity jumped 19 spots on the US News and World Report, ranking to land at #40 liberal arts college in the nation. You should cheer. This transformation is possible when you have a leader with a vision, passion, and tenacity to move things forward. With all of the excitement that's happened in the past 2 years, I can't wait to see what's on the horizon. Right now, please join me in welcoming President Vanessa Beasley.
Thank you, Nadia, for that very kind introduction and for your dedication and valuable contributions as president of the Alumni Association Board. Nadia has been a tremendous asset to the board, and we have been so fortunate to have your leadership. Will you join me in thanking Nadia? As she said, and I hope you feel as you're walking around campus, this is an incredibly exciting time to be part of Trinity University. As you've heard, this year interest in Trinity has reached an all-time high, while our acceptance rate has hit an all-time low. See what we did with that? That's pretty good. We saw a significant jump in our national rankings, a transformative philanthropic gift from the Sims Foundation, and campus enhancements that focus on the student-centered experience. We are concluding, or in the stages of concluding, a community and data-driven strategic plan, which will continue to move this institution forward with its bold goals for the future. And you'll hear more about that in February and March. With a highly engaged faculty, staff, and alumni community, we are truly doubling down on what it means to provide a 21st century liberal arts education, which I would argue is more important now than it ever has been. And now for tonight's ceremony. The award winners we were honored tonight exemplify what is possible with a Trinity University education. I am honored to be here to celebrate their accomplishments and their continued contributions. Thank you all for contributing and for representing and supporting our university so well. I would like to take a moment also to recognize some of the dedicated individuals who are here this evening. Nadia already thanked the Alumni Board, but I would like to ask all members of the Alumni Association Board who are here with us tonight to please stand and be recognized. Your efforts in support of our students and our alumni make these awards possible, exciting, and meaningful. And I thank you for your ongoing commitment to celebrating your fellow alumni. I'd also like to know if we have any past award winners in the room tonight. I mean, you're all winners to me, but do we have any past award winners here with us? All right, if you'll please stand and be recognized. Thank you for being here with us this evening. Now, please join me in welcoming back Nadia to the podium, and she will serve as our Master of Ceremonies for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Beasley. Tonight, we will honor 8 alumni in 5 categories: Fraternity and Sorority Life Alumni Advisor of the Year, Tower Awards, Outstanding Young Alumni, Spirit of Trinity, and Distinguished Alumni. Our first award of the evening is the Fraternity and Sorority Alumni Advisor of the Year Award, which recognizes outstanding alumni service in an advisory capacity to a Trinity fraternity or sorority. And I'm so honored to present this year's award to Jill Grace, class of 1985. Jill majored in sociology and English and has used that foundation to build a remarkable career and to serve as a mentor and guide to others. As the alumni advisor for Chi Beta Epsilon for the past 8 years, Jill has been an invaluable asset to her and my sorority, dedicating countless hours to helping students thrive and stay connected to their Trinity roots. She has further supported her sorority as the Director of Development for the Chi Beta Epsilon Foundation for 6 years. And her contributions to Trinity expand far beyond her role with Chi Beta Epsilon. Jill has also served the Alumni Association Board as the Marketing Committee Chair, Secretary, and a member of the Fraternity and Sorority Life Committee. She's even a founding member of a West Texas alumni chapter. Jill's love for Trinity runs deep. She's been a passionate alumni admissions recruitment volunteer, helping to bring the best and brightest students to Trinity through her work at West Texas College Fairs, and alongside her husband, John Grace, class of 1985, she has passed this love on to her family. The two were married here on campus at the Parker Chapel, and in 2016, they proudly watched their daughter, Chandler, graduate from Trinity as well. Over the years, Jill has welcomed several active Chi Betas into her home, where they babysat Chandler and affectionately earned the nickname Chandler Handlers. Now retired after a long and successful career at AT&T, where Jill served as the Director of Customer Service for the Wireless Division and as a project manager, she continues to give back to the Trinity community and inspire others with her passion and commitment. Please join me in celebrating Jill Grace, our Fraternity and Sorority Alumni Advisor of the Year, for her outstanding service, dedication, and leadership.
Make me cry. Okay. Well, I did make a few notes because, as my family has reminded me, I'm not good unscripted. I could go literally anywhere. So, to try and control that. First, I just wanted to say, joining Chi Beta 40 years ago, which does not seem like nearly as long as it used to, was a defining part of my college career. I made lifelong friends that knew me when I was becoming me. Several of them are here tonight, and I really appreciate that. Met my husband while we were pledging, so their stories. And just made a lot of wonderful memories that I am more than welcome to share with anyone who wants to hear them, including some of these lovely young ladies who've had to listen to me over the years saying, we didn't do it that way. But after graduating from Trinity, I kind of drifted off, started a family, started a career, kind of went to building that in Trinity, kind of faded away from the forefront until 2012. And I know some of you remember what happened in 2012. It's fondly referred to as the Greek tragedy. Well, when that happened, I re-engaged. And also, as my family can attest, sometimes it's hard to get me to engage, but once I do, I'm kind of relentless. So I decided I needed to jump back in. Chandler had applied to Trinity and was waiting to hear back, at which point she was like, Mom, seriously, low profile. I want to go to this school. So I got re-involved there, kind of got to know the actives, started coming back for alumni weekend, ended up joining the Alumni Association Board, which is a wonderful experience if you've ever considered doing it. And then when I was asked to become the Chi Beta Alumni Advisor, I jumped at the chance. Because one of the things that I had noticed, that kind of becoming apparently clear, was that the Trinity Greek community was struggling. It was not in a good place at that time. So when I became an advisor and I got to know some of the other advisors, there are a couple of past award winners here, and realized we all had a common mission to make the great community strong and a strong resource on campus, not just for the 25% of people who actually join an organization, but for the entire campus community. That to me was very satisfying and something I really looked forward to and worked hard at. Along the way, made lots of friends from across generations of Trinitonians and lots of different clubs, learned a lot, and kind of the most important thing was I've had an opportunity to get to know these young women, kind of get to know them when they're girls, and I've watched them grow into lovely, accomplished young women, and that has been a true pleasure and a blessing in receiving this award. I can't even tell you guys how much it means to me and how much Chi Betas mean to me and how big a part of my Trinity experience it has played. So thank you very much. Thank you, Nadia, who's been a wonderful benefit of all of this. I've gotten to know Nadia. So, I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Jill. Thank you so much again. All right. The Tower Award recognizes select alumni who set a standard of excellence through outstanding professional achievements or community service. Our first Tower Award recipient, Jenna Daggett, has distinguished herself through her exceptional work ethic. Jenna graduated from Trinity in 2013 with a degree in political science and many accolades to her name. As a student, she proudly served as the co-president of Lambda Pi Eta Communication Honor Society, the president of the National Society, and president of the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. She was also a Ronald E. McNair Scholar and a member of Pi Sigma Alpha Political Science Honor Society, Mortar Board Senior Honor Society, and the Golden Key International Honor Society. In 2013, she earned the Outstanding Senior Award in Human Communication here as well. But her commitment to excel did not stop at Trinity. Jenna currently works at NORAD and US Northcom, where she serves as an assessments, monitoring, and evaluation analyst. It's in this role that Jenna ensures the successful execution of humanitarian assistance projects. When a devastating hurricane stalled over the Bahamas in 2019, Jenna coordinated the Department of Defense mission funding to ensure the United States could assist one of its closest neighbors. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, she secured the ultra-low temperature freezers to jumpstart the vaccine campaign also in the Bahamas. Her daily efforts have tremendous impacts on the communities around us, and we are so proud to have her among our alumni family. Unfortunately, due to superseding work obligations, Jenna could not join us this evening, but I would like to take a moment to congratulate her and accept the award on her behalf, which I think. All right. Our next Tower Award recipient is Dr. Ashante Reese, a 2007 Trinity graduate and an award-winning professor and writer. After earning her PhD in anthropology from American University, Ashante worked her way up from assistant professor of sociology and anthropology at Spelman College to her current position as a tenured associate professor of African and African diaspora studies at University of Texas in Austin. Not only is Ashante an award-winning professor, but she's also a writer and an anthropologist. And she also consistently dedicates her time to educating others and improving the lives of those around her. She has authored 2 books, Black Food Geographies, Race, Food Access, and Self-Reliance in Washington, D.C., and Black Food Matters, Racial Justice in the Wake of Food Justice, both of which have received awards. Universities across the country have called on her to talk about her profound research, and she has been asked to participate in countless conferences and panels. In her spare time, which is hard to imagine she has much of, but she has given back to Trinity in a variety of ways. From volunteering as a mentor for the Legacy of Excellence program and serving as a speaker for the 2023 Kente ceremony, to helping me establish a scholarship in honor of the late Dr. Carrie Lattimore, one of her former Trinity professors. For everything she does and continues to do for Trinity and beyond, please join me in recognizing Dr. Ashante Reeves.
Hi, everybody. It's kind of bright up here. So I also have notes, though it is not scripted. But first, I would just like to thank the Alumni Board, the Selection Committee, Alumni Relations. You know, I always like to think about timing, and maybe this could have happened at some other time earlier or sometime later. But I'm so happy it happened while we are celebrating our first woman president here. That feels very, very exciting, especially in a time in academia where we know women in positions of power, and especially prestigious positions like president of a college or university like this, it comes with so much stuff. So Dr. Beasley won't say that, but it comes with a lot of stuff. And so if you see someone who can smile like this all the time, even in the position of president, just know they're probably doing a lot of breathing exercises. And maybe eating a lot of ice cream. I would also like to thank my family. My mother and sister got on the road at noon to drive here and just got here at 6 o'clock because the traffic was awful. So thank you for driving. They are indicative of the kind of community that I've always had, that has always been here to support me in my endeavors. I would also like to thank my friend, Dr. Ashley Farmer, who drove from Austin, and it took her 2 hours to get here, to be here to celebrate me. And then also my partner, Tommy Paris, who is probably the biggest cheerleader that I have and is ready to come with pom-poms and a sign anytime that I'm celebrated. So when I came to Trinity in 2003, there's, you all probably remember there's a moment where we all gather in Laureate Auditorium. You look around and they say, "This is your class." And that year in 2003, my class was 691 students, and 8 of them were Black students. So I looked around the auditorium and I thought, oh man, I might have made the biggest mistake of my life. Coming from a community, I'm from East Texas, and I came from a community that wasn't all Black, but it was far more diverse in some ways than what I experienced when I came to Trinity. And so, there were things that went through my mind about what it meant for me to be here, first generation college student, trying to navigate a new city. It was the first time I lived in the city. My town has a population less than 7,000. There's so much change. But what I will say about coming to Trinity is it is the place where I got to turn into a troublemaker turned change agent, and I got a lot of practice here. And so that group of 691, where there were only 8 Black students, this is a place where I got to be so engaged with admissions, got to be so engaged with academic affairs, and over the 4 years that I was here, got to watch the admissions of Black students grow and got to be a part of that. And so I credit Trinity and the people who were here. Dr. Nene Ajikame, somewhere in the audience, was one of my professors. I became a history major because of her and the late Dr. Carrie Lattimore, both who helped steer me through this space to become the kind of academic that I am. And so I have a lot of fond memories here, but more importantly, I credit this place for becoming the kind of person I want to be in the world. It is the first place I got to practice being an advocate, being an activist, and seeing the fruit of that change. So thank you to all of the people who nominated or voted me for this award. It's a really special time to get it. It's the middle of semester. I'm tired. I don't want to grade midterms. And it's also a really good time to pause and think about this is what Trinity was to me, what these professors were to me. I get to be to somebody every day, and that's kind of my dream. So thank you.
Congratulations, Ashante. Our final Tower Award recipient, Michael Quintanilla, is a proud San Antonio Southsider and a 1976 Trinity graduate. Michael has a remarkable career in both journalism and fashion. As a reporter for the Los Angeles Times and the San Antonio Express News, he covered major events like the New York Fashion Week, 9/11, the 1992 Los Angeles riots, and the 1994 Northridge earthquake, contributing to 2 staff Pulitzer Prizes. A trailblazer in AIDS crisis reporting, Michael's award-winning work has earned him widespread recognition, including Feature Writer of the Year honors from the Los Angeles Times and the California Newspaper Publishers Association. Many of his newspaper stories, including investigative reporting and feature writing, have been published in journals, books, and even turned into a feature NBC film. And beyond journalism, he is deeply involved in the San Antonio community, supporting organizations like the San Antonio Pride Center, Ava's Heroes, and San Antonio AIDS Foundation, and the Girl Scouts. Known for his bold fashion sense and his role as Mr. Fiesta, Michael is a local icon and an advocate for inclusivity and was the first recipient of the San Antonio Fashion Week Icon Award of Excellence. His upcoming appearance in the movie Say a Little Prayer and his role as a San Antonio ambassador further showcases his dynamic talents. Michael's contributions to journalism, fashion, and community service make him a worthy recipient of Trinity University's Tower Award. Please join me in congratulating Michael Quintanilla.
Good evening, everyone. How are y'all doing? Thank you, Trinity Alumni Association, Mr. Thomas, Nadia, and President Beasley. So great to see you. You have such a great sense of humor. Thank you for this lovely honor, also made possible by my tribe of treasured friends. That includes Dr. Norma Elia Cantu, a professor here at Trinity, who invited me to perform my one-man show about writing that led to San Antonio Express News columnist Elena Ayala, who was in the audience to ask if an alumni organization might be interested in knowing about me. That prompted my friend and fellow Trinity graduate Elizabeth Ruiz, who's here tonight, to write a nominating letter that has led to this honor. And here we are. As I walked to this recital hall today, I thought back to my first visit to Trinity. I was just a boy, 8 or 9 years old. Ma and I took the bus from our South Side home to visit this campus, to walk its periphery, roam onto a sidewalk, and marvel at the brick buildings. Ma, who was pulled out of school at the age of 10 to care for her infant brother, certainly knew I would come here. She told me so, and often repeated when I was older how she had read that Trinity was regarded as the little Harvard of the South. Trinity was Ma's greater vision for me, which is why I was on that bus ride, such a big field trip at such a young age, planning a big future, yet decades away, but assuredly a future rooted like the thriving oak trees that envelop this prosperous campus. So was writing in my future, which became journalism. Ma had saved stories I had written as a kid. At my elementary school, I started a little newspaper that was mimeographed. In high school, a newspaper because we had none. We called it The Bark because we were the mighty Burbank Bulldogs. Dr. Richard Gentry chairman of Trinity's journalism department, and Dr. Bill Hayes, who was instrumental in developing this school's radio and broadcast program, and Dr. Sarah Burke, who taught Russian literature, who I adored. All guided my talent here. And upon graduation, Dr. Gentry recommended me for a job at the San Antonio Express-News, where I was hired for the police beat just days after graduation. As I was leaving the editor's office, Mr. Rogers asked if I had a car, and of course, if I drove, had a license and insurance. I said yes to everything, and then I took the bus home because I didn't know how to drive, and I had none of the other. But Ma drove, and without my editors ever knowing, we covered the police beat together. Just as Ma envisioned me studying here at Trinity, she envisioned me being a reporter. Whenever a Code 3 call blared over the police blotters in the police press room, which meant someone was going to die from a shooting, a drowning, a stabbing, or worse, I had to get there fast. That was my cue to phone Ma. Ma, hurry, we have a double homicide. Okay, mijo, I'm on my way. She'd zoom downtown, just a few minutes away from home, always ready between 3 p.m. and midnight to drive me to the scene of the crime, to help me succeed. I eventually learned to drive, but police beat was never quite the same. Still today is a full circle Ma moment. All those decades ago, Ma and I were here on this campus, exploring what was yet to come, a manifestation of my educational future. Today, here and now, before you, I am the grown-up version of that little Chicano boy who back then had big ears and crooked teeth and funny hair, and who walked this campus with his mother, who taught him to believe that Trinity was his destiny, that set off a career trajectory that has taken me around the world as a reporter covering historic events, the Hollywood beat, the international fashion scene, and a contributor to staff Pulitzer Prizes. Ma, who died in 2017, is always close to my heart. In my pocket, over my heart, I carry her photo today, right here. So, Ma, I dedicate this lovely honor to you. I dedicate this honor to all the mothers here today, to all the women in my presence, my sister Becky, who is here, my female friends here, because in this season of thanks and giving, I am thankful and grateful for each of you. I wish you all salud, amor, felicidad, y tiempo para gastarlo. Health, love, happiness, and time to enjoy them. Thank you. I love you all.
Congratulations, Michael. All right. The Outstanding Young Alumni Award honors Trinity young alumni who have distinguished themselves early on their profession or in service to the community, setting a standard worthy of recognition by the Alumni Association and the university. And Chris Garagiola has done just that. Chris graduated in 2015 with a degree in communications and an unwavering passion for broadcasting. During his time here, he was a member of Tiger TV, Trinity's campus television station, and was one of the founding broadcasters for Tiger Network, the university's live streaming platform for athletics and special events. Chris's love of sports and the ability to impress a crowd made it easy for him to cultivate his craft and make a name for himself while he was a student here. And then out of college, it was no different. After graduating, Chris first served as a media relations intern for the Cincinnati Reds, and later propelled his way up the ranks to lead broadcaster for the AA Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Forgive me, I don't know the sports teams as well as I should. In December of 2023, Chris was named the official radio play-by-play broadcaster for Major League Baseball's Arizona Diamondbacks. I do know them. Learn even more about Chris's inspiring journey and all that he's accomplished since his time here at Trinity in this special video.
It's great to be with you once again. My name is Chris Garagiola.
When I think about our distinguished young alum, I think about somebody who is climbing.
They have to stay sharp.
But is already outpacing their classmates. Somebody who we would look at and say, wow.
Chris was essentially the foundation of Trinity broadcasting.
It's the big one, the long one from Jock that sends us into the bottom of the first.
I'm just floored that the university would even consider me for such a distinction.
I know, and our whole family knows, how important in Chris's life Trinity was.
Broadcasting live from Chase Field in downtown Phoenix, it is once again time for Arizona Diamondback baseball. And it's interesting because you look at the top 5 base-stealing teams last year.
Not even 10 years after graduating from Trinity, Chris Garagiola has reached rarefied air in broadcasting. Words are his toolkit.
First pitch, Del Castillo swings, high drive, right field, walk-off homer!
One of only 30 Major League radio play-by-play announcers, Garagiola works for his hometown, Arizona Diamondbacks.
I think beyond dreams, the goal that I had was to try to find something that I genuinely enjoy doing every day.
Chris stood above the rest in so many different areas. Probably the biggest one is how we knew he would fit.
We got some juice in the building, boys. We got some juice.
It's a last name, Garagiola, with deep roots in America's pastime. Chris's grandfather, Joe Garagiola, is a former Major League player and Hall of Fame broadcaster. Joe Garagiola Jr., Chris's father, won a World Series as the Diamondbacks general manager in 2001.
There was some of the side eye, oh, well, I guess I know how he got that job.
A no-doubter for Jock, his 4th of the season.
And when I would hear that on occasion, I would always think to myself, no, actually, you have no idea how he got this job.
You have to be willing to go anywhere and do anything.
Long hours, even longer bus rides, lots of drive-through, and virtually no pay. It's part of the charm for a minor league broadcaster with dreams at AA Pensacola, a minor league affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds, where Garagiola worked with Tommy Thrall. Both are now in the majors.
All he wanted to do was learn and get better, and he focused so much at constantly trying to get better at what he did. He blew me away with the work ethic.
So he took every possible opportunity he could to be on air and be practicing.
But the journey to the brightest lights in baseball began in earnest right here at Trinity. Garagiola took part in Tiger TV.
Trinity University is home to many social, professional, and academic groups,
and was one of the founding voices of the Tiger Network, a platform that broadcasts lectures, concerts, and sporting events on a live stream. The Tiger Network has blossomed to deliver more than 1,500 broadcasts with more than 1 million views in the decade since.
You know, he had so many friends on the teams and things like that. So, like, you know, he took it seriously, but he also, you know, had some pride in it, you know, because he wanted to make everybody at the university look good as well, which was, you know, pretty special.
Now Markey playing a ball, Hamel tried to flick it forward, but it was blocked.
Getting to Trinity and seeing such a wide array of things to study and being in kind of smaller and intimate classes it just helped me have a more personal relationship with these professors, and I got to, I think, showcase a little bit of who I was.
Hey Chris, Dad here. Just want to say how proud we all are and congratulations.
So proud of all the accomplishments that you've had since you've left, but also ever thankful for all the things that you did to help propel us where we are still currently.
Hey Chris, Coach McGinley here from the men's soccer program at Trinity. Congratulations on receiving the Outstanding Young Alumnus Award.
It's very well deserved.
Congratulations on receiving Trinity's Outstanding Young Alumni Award.
Please join me in welcoming this year's Outstanding Young Alumni Award recipient, Chris Garagiola, to the stage.
Oh my gosh. You hear about the all the other accomplishments of the award recipients, and I talk about the weather and try the hot dogs, right? So there was an anecdote that stuck out to me. This is not a linear career path, one of broadcasting, and there's a lot of volunteer jobs along the way. And I remember one of the more, what to me felt like a big one, was I got to be a production assistant at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. It's a huge golf tournament. It's the most attended. It overlaps with Super Bowl Sunday, and usually that event is broadcasted by CBS, but that year CBS was actually broadcasting the Super Bowl, and when that happens, NBC fills in, basically. And the reason why that tournament was special was because their longtime golf analyst, this guy by Johnny Miller, he was calling it quits after that. An almost 3 decades long career in the booth after having a somewhat successful playing career. And Johnny was known for a couple of things. First was that he won the 1973 US Open by shooting a 63. He would say that like 50 times on the air. Like, we get it, Johnny, congratulations. And he also had this, what felt like uncanny bluntness when he spoke. And it felt blunt because when you think of a sport like golf, it's very proper and polite, and it's lacking criticism, and he was kind of a refreshing voice in that. And I promise this has a tie to Trinity. Like, I'm not using 3 minutes to just have some random tangent, but Super Bowl Sunday steals a lot of the ratings, so his last day was on that Saturday when there would be a large audience to give him the proper send-off. And on that particular day, my job was to go to the other side of the golf course, which was like a mile walk. I would stand at 16, and I would just sort of radio back who was coming so NBC could kind of get the shot, especially late in the day. And as I was walking, beginning what was a long journey towards my 16 sort of stand, I heard some voice go, "Hey kid, need a ride?" And that threw me off because I was 27 years old at the time. And you're usually kind of beyond the years of being called kid. But as I looked behind me, there was Johnny in his cart offering me a ride. He was just hours away from what would be his last day of work, and then Lord knows what he would choose to pursue after giving so much to that particular audience and those particular fans. So I said, sure, thanks so much. And we hopped in the car, and he had a binder, and it had all these notes and all these greens, and he wanted to make sure that even on his last day, when it could be so easy to just ride on the coattails of what was a great career, that he was prepared. That's what he did. That was what was important. I was nervous initially just because I knew who he was. So for me, this was like a big time celebrity, right? Some random golf guy you probably wouldn't even recognize in the supermarket. But when we got close to the point where he would drop me off, I somewhat asked or sort of stated, hey, I always kind of noticed you're not afraid to sort of put yourself out there and say some critical things when no one else will. And he said, kid, it's so important that when you speak, people believe what you have to say. And that only comes from being true. It's a simple thing, I get it. But we tend to overlook sometimes the simple things. And I would like to, with the remaining time that I have, put that into practice and speak as simply and as truly to you as I can. When I arrived on this campus in 2011, I was a ship without a sail. I was a person with no plan, and even worse than that, no self-belief. I had blown a lot of the opportunities I had to be successful in high school. And I remember, and I haven't really shared this story with anybody else, but there was a man in admissions named Chris Ellertson, and he sat down, and we looked at my GPA, and it wasn't great. And he said, usually people like this don't get in. Do you have a plan if you don't? And I said, no, not really. This is sort of what's the point attitude. But fortunately, either he took pity or saw something, and I got that acceptance letter and was just beaming with pride. And this place gave me the tools to begin my rehabilitation. These professors gave me a sense of purpose, that I was capable, that I had more to give. And the friends that I met here reminded me of what joy was like, especially at a place of higher learning. And some of the professors are here, Dr. Jennifer Henderson, Dr. Andrew Hansen, Josh Machagemba helped out so much with the Tiger Network. And you won't know it unless I tell you, but every day I walk with so much pride and gratitude for Trinity University, and so much that I hope to offer to the rest of the people who listen to baseball games, or maybe something more. It all stems from this place and the decision to come here, and I will never be able to repay that gratitude. So thank you for this award, but it's me who wants to thank you, and I appreciate everyone being here.
All right, congratulations, Chris. I would now like to invite our Vice President of Alumni Relations and Development and 1989 Trinity graduate, Mike Bacon, to the stage to present the final 2 awards of the evening.
I have to remember to bring a Kleenex to these because I always get kind of weepy. I'm so proud of the incredible alumni we have. You're seeing it firsthand, and you can just see what a pleasure it is to be here at Trinity and to get to interact with these alumni around the country. The 2 awardees we're going to honor tonight, their commitment to excellence and service truly reflects how Trinity prepares its graduates to lives of meaning and purpose. The Spirit of Trinity Award is one of the highest honors bestowed by the Alumni Association. It recognizes alumni who have demonstrated extraordinary service to the community or the university over really an extended period of time, embodying the true spirit of what it means to be a Trinitonian. This year, we are fortunate to have not 1, but 2 incredible alumni as recipients. Gary Ramey, class of 1970, and Kay Ramey, class of 1972. Gary and Kay don't just share a last name by coincidence. They met here at Trinity's campus, and their lifelong devotion to one another and to the university has been unwavering ever since. Throughout their law careers, teaching, and raising their daughter, Anne, a 2005 Trinity alumna who's here tonight, the Rameys have maintained a close and active connection to Trinity. They've contributed in countless ways, from chairing class reunions and recruiting students to serving on the Alumni Association board and volunteering on numerous committees, task forces, and special projects. As members of both the Trinity Associates and the Trinity True program, they've also shown the power of giving back. In fact, they established the Ramey Family Endowed Scholarship to support Trinity students with the greatest financial need. The Ramey's dedication to the university is truly inspiring, and their impact is felt by generations of Trinity students. I invite you to watch this video and learn more about how Gary and Kay have made and continue to make a tangible difference on our campus.
Spirit of Trinity is our way of acknowledging somebody or a couple that embodies the heart and soul of the university.
The process is incredible because just going through the applications, we realize the quality and the caliber of the alumni that Trinity University produces.
We have this bundle of really fantastic memories of our time here as students.
Kay and Gary Ramey have been holding hands and walking through campus for more than 50 years. Trinity sweethearts. They met here, fell in love here, and have built their lives around giving back very generously with time, talents, and treasure to the university.
Oh, it's been a huge part, a joyous part of our lives for so many years.
Just the fact that I met Kay while I was here, if nothing else good had happened to me at Trinity, that would be more than enough.
They met on a blind date. Gary picked Kay up in what's now known as Thomas Hall. They went to the Carlos Montoya classical guitar concert on campus. Was it love at first sight? Kay says you could say that.
We were absolutely comfortable together from the very beginning, and actually after that first date, we were constant companions the rest of the semester.
During the Vietnam War era, Gary took part in Army ROTC and graduated as a commissioned officer when he accepted his degree at Dr. James Laurie's final graduation as Trinity president. He studied German at Trinity, a serendipitous segue to serving as a signal officer on a nuclear missile battalion in Germany.
I credit Trinity with setting me on that path and, of course, providing also the kind of leadership opportunities and requirements as a student that helped me to step into that role.
Kay and Gary Ramey are both first-generation college students. Both are trained attorneys. Gary's a longtime law professor. Kay found a love for public law and urban studies. And both share a very real passion for the university. They are the spirit of Trinity, involved as alumni in virtually every meaningful way possible. On the alumni board, on reunion committees. They have been Trinity true, steadfast donors year after year for going on 4 decades, and they inspire fundraising from others.
It's enriched our lives more than I can tell you.
And for us, those connections have always been very, very meaningful. They've been a pleasure.
They are stalwart alumni. They're engaged in so many ways, from our alumni board to our admissions office, to advising our students.
The Rameys also started the Ramey Family Endowment Fund to make a Trinity education as affordable as possible to the students who want to say yes to the very unique and impactful Trinity experience.
All of that has meant the world to us, and we want to make sure that students who come to this university today have the same kind of experience.
Kay and Gary, congratulations on receiving the Spirit of Trinity Award. It's only fitting that you get it together.
When you think of Trinity, you would immediately think of them.
Come on up, Gary and Kay Ramey.
When we were notified that we would receive this award, I thought maybe the selection committee had been inspired by Dickens' story, A Christmas Carol, and that we were chosen to represent the spirit of Trinity past. Now, I could understand that. When Kay and I were visiting campus over at Coates Library several years ago. A building, by the way, that didn't exist when we were students. We were attracted to a glass display case with the label Historic Photos of Trinity. It turned out those historic photos were of the time when we were students here. There were other clues that we might be representative of the spirit of Trinity past. With the possible exception of the Trinity Chapel, every building on this campus has been modified or constructed since our student days. In our time, men ate in the refectory, which was located by the men's dorms. Women dined in the more genteel women's dining hall, situated in proximity to the women's dormitories and overlooking the slab. And shockingly, for you, there was not yet a Bombay Bicycle Club. We studied in the Storch Library and attended concerts and PE classes in the Sam Center. On one occasion, I saw Diana Ross and the Supremes perform in that gym. The warm-up act was Gladys Knight and the Pips, and tickets were $5.50 each, which was the most expensive ticket that I bought as a Trinity student here. The Miller Fountain fronted on Stadium Drive in those days. The original Northrop was a two-story building constructed using the innovative lift slab technique because Trinity couldn't afford the Georgian architecture of the original plan. I was a town student for my first 2 years before moving into East Dorm for my junior year. Kay lived in High Rise, as you saw in the video, a building where men were not allowed past the lobby. Women had curfew, so I had to check Kay in and out of her dorm for our dates. When we were together on campus, it was often to study in the Chapman Graduate Center's Great Hall, a space we still love. Like every male, I was required to enroll in Army ROTC for my first 2 years. I stayed for the advanced course, was a distinguished military graduate, and was commissioned as an officer in this very room, although it has been renovated since. My graduation, as you saw, was held in the Sam Center Gymnasium because rain had threatened the outdoor ceremony that was usually held in the Sunken Gardens Amphitheater across 281, which didn't exist at the time. I received my diploma from Dr. Laurie, who was presiding over the last graduation of his tenure. That auditorium bearing his name, of course, had not been built yet. Kay and I were students when Trinity celebrated its 100th anniversary. You may be surprised we were not at Tawakona when the university was founded. But we were back on campus on the occasion of the 150th anniversary celebration. Fittingly, Kay was a member of the planning committee for that event. As I've thought about our selection, it has occurred to me how little Trinity has actually changed since Kay and I met on a blind date in 1969. The facilities, of course, are quite different, but the essence of Trinity remains the same. Most of Trinity's faculty hadn't been born when we first came to campus. And yet, these young academics seem to possess the same qualities we so enjoyed in the faculty of our day. Classes were small. Our interaction with the faculty extended beyond the classroom and beyond graduation. I still sometimes have lunch with one of my Trinity professors. I know what you're thinking. As in our day, professors are engaged not only with research, but also with students. They actually care about teaching. I say that thinking, this must seem like a given to you, but that's because only a few of you in the audience perhaps are academics. Caring deeply about teaching is not a given at a university, but it happens here. Trinity students are bright, intellectually curious, and socially responsible. Our classmates were the same. Some years ago, I reflected on my Trinity friends and realized that everyone in my circle had earned a graduate or professional degree. And all of them had significant and successful careers. When we were students, I saw these same people as quite unremarkable. But instead, they became the kinds of graduates we read about in the Trinity magazine. Without knowing more about a person, I know anyone associated with Trinity will be interesting, creative, curious, and, to use a seriously overworked word from the pandemic, resilient. They'll be worth spending time with, and they always are. To be part of this community is its own reward. The spirit that defines Trinity and its students, faculty, staff, and alumni is not a new and improved spirit. The campus buildings may have changed, but the essential Trinity experience has not. Like others who have been educated in the liberal arts in a nurturing and maturing environment, we were prepared for life and not just for a job. I credit this university for being true to this vision of what it is and what it wants to be. Never complacent, Trinity continues to evolve, but always in ways that are faithful to its essential mission and ethos. If Kay and I are the spirit of Trinity past, we also are the spirit of Trinity present, for we recognize in the Trinity people of today the same spirit that made this school a special place for us as students. It is that feeling about what Trinity represents that makes it such an honor for us to receive this recognition. And we will be forever grateful and proud of this designation. Thank you.
Don't break it. So congratulations to Gary and Kay. Our final award this evening, the Distinguished Alumnus Award, is the highest honor presented by the Alumni Association. Since 1961, it has been given to the most dedicated and talented of our alumni, and this year's recipient is no exception. Sometime around 4 p.m., on a hot day in the August of 1985. God, sorry, I was listening to Gary and I just got distracted. Just kidding. It was 1985. It was August. It was really hot, and I met Diane Del Rosa. She and I were a part of the same mentor group. Back in the 80s, Trinity organized first-year students into groups of 10 to 12 students, and we moved as a pack for the first couple weeks, going through orientation and class registration, and we all became friends in the process. Diane is a woman you truly, immediately respect. During her time at Trinity, she was the embodiment of a well-rounded student. She balanced the demands of being a full-time student with many extracurricular commitments, including being a cadet commander of the ROTC program. She and I served together as the co-chairs of the Student Phonathon program during our senior year at Trinity. Even now, many of the qualities that made Diane stand out as a student continue to define her life. Hard work, dedication, and an incredible ability to manage her time. Today, she balances two remarkable careers on two different coasts, Army Major General and IBM Vice President. Since receiving her regular Army commission as a distinguished military graduate in the Quartermaster Corps in 1989, Diane's military service has been nothing short of extraordinary. She's earned several awards in the U.S. Army and the U.S. Army Reserve, the greatest of these being the Legion of Merit with 2 Oak Leaf Clusters, which is actually 3 awards, the Bronze Star Medal for duty in Iraq, and 2 Meritorious Unit Commendation Medals. And just last year, she was promoted to the rank of Major General, where she now commands the 79th Theater Sustainment Command. In addition to her military career, Diane has also thrived in the corporate world. She started her career at IBM in 2002, where she now serves as the Global Vice President of Technology Expert Labs Software Services. Diane lives Trinity's values in everything she does, and I invite you to watch this video to see for yourself why she is so deserving of this honorable distinction.
You think that's somebody who's going somewhere. And she was definitely one of those. She is such a rock star, but she's so modest about it.
This award is reserved for the most excellent, the most hardworking, and the most inspiring alumni that we have.
I know she doesn't sleep, and it's just there's always something next.
Well, my first reaction was that I was definitely immensely proud of her.
It means an amazing amount because I feel like there's so many people who have done some amazing things at Trinity, not only as students, but so far beyond in their careers.
Diane Del Rosso grew up in a military family, an officer's daughter with 2 sisters, moving around often, but what held steady as a Del Rosso were high and non-negotiable expectations.
You always leave things better than you found them. You treat everybody with respect, no matter who they are, what station they have in life, how much money they make, what they look like. You respect everyone at all times, and you give more than you receive.
Del Rosso received an appointment to West Point, but opted instead for an ROTC scholarship at Trinity, and along with it, the rigorous liberal arts curriculum and relative sense of freedom to chart her own course.
It was being told what to do all the time, 24/7. That in my gut, I felt like I needed a sense of responsibility of my own before making a commitment like that. And so Trinity gave me the opportunity to choose what I wanted to do.
Del Rosso thrived at Trinity, a business administration major and a member of the Spurs sorority, a soccer player, a cheerleader, and a campus leader.
I was lucky enough to serve as a co-chair on the Student Phonathon with her. We did it together. And so the 2 of us led a team that helped raise money for the university. So I knew from day one how impressive she was.
After graduation, Del Rosso served 11.5 years of active military duty with 2 deployments to Iraq and Kuwait. She has earned the Meritorious Service Medal and the coveted Bronze Star, a medal awarded for heroic or meritorious achievement or service in a combat zone. Del Rosso then moved to the business world as a global vice president with IBM. That's during the day. On nights and weekends, she is a major general in the U.S. Army Reserve, crisscrossing the country and the world to have an impact in the business and military sectors.
She's been in charge of the integration of 2 of their biggest acquisitions, the Weather Channel and Turbonomics. And most recently, she is now in charge of all of IBM's business with the federal government.
The whole thing about having 2 jobs and being in a bunch of different places at once and traveling so much, I think it would amaze anybody.
I do look at this as I get to do this because it is an opportunity, even though it is hard, to do hard things and strive to be greater than I might have been coming into the job and leave that position greater for the next person coming in after me.
Diane is just so impressive, and I'm thrilled that she's our distinguished alumna.
Having said no to West Point, I wanted to go to a school that rigorously challenged me academically, mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. And I got all of those 4 things at Trinity University.
Diane, I think you're such a rock star. I so admire you and what you do. I think you are so richly deserving of this award. I'm delighted that it's happening for you. Congratulations.
Congratulations on receiving the Distinguished Alumni Award from Trinity. Well done.
Woo!
Wow, it is bright up here. I feel like I can just say drop the mic because the video really said so much, and all of our alumni and distinguished, I'm so proud to be among you, have really told the Trinity story. So congratulations to you. I am honored to even be among you. But I did have a few words I wanted to share. So in the beginning of April of 1985, I was a confident and energetic teenager, very excited about attending college. Not because of picking one of many, many options, like most people do. I was very, and gratefully so, accepted to one college that I very much wanted to go to for many, many years. I'm an Army brat, and I applied to one school, West Point. And I got in. And I started to have a change of heart. I did want to rigorously be challenged. I was also being recruited to play soccer there. But before I tell you a bit more of my story beyond the video, let me first admit I am sometimes a shining example of what not to do. This is one of those cases. By mid-April, my mom, who had some concerns all along me telling her that I was going to go to West Point, even though I had not been accepted at the time when I was probably a sophomore, and really earnestly thinking about it very seriously. My father was promoted to his next rank, and they moved, and we were in Hawaii to, and I know that sounds, pinky up, it wasn't so much, but more on that over a drink. But my father was promoted, and he had to move to his next duty assignment, and this was back to Italy. We lived in Vicenza growing up. This was to go to Verona. My father was not physically standing next to me when I was making this decision. Could have been a completely different outcome, because those beady-eyed Italian eyeballs staring at me probably wouldn't have had me changing my mind, though I was still conflicted. Nevertheless, there were 2 guys that lived across the street, 2 different houses, 2 different families, both West Pointers, same class. They came across the street every summer and every Christmas when they came home. They filled my mom's head with all of the worries that a mom would have about her daughter, who at the time, they still had not completely integrated women into West Point as richly as they have today. So my mom was a little concerned. She had good reason, because I grew up as a rebel. Of the 3 girls, I was the one that as soon as my mom said, "Why don't you go read a book?" I was a blur out the door, not paying attention to what she asked me to do, which was usually a chore. My father, again, as I mentioned, was not physically there. He did not have any concerns, as one would imagine. My father did not go there. He is an immigrant of a first-generation Italian family that came to the United States with nothing. And my grandfather shoveled coal onto coal cars in upstate New York, because when he went to Ellis Island, that's who he met and gave him a job. He married my grandmother because the gentleman who owned that mill set him up with her and brought her from Italy. So this is the background that I came from. Education was almighty in our family. You study, you pay attention, you listen to your parents, you listen to your elders, and you do what you can to leave things better from where they were. So these concerns, back to the two gentlemen that I was telling you that lived across the street, who would foment these fears in my mom's, forefront of her brain housing group, as I would say. They basically, I would say, were saber rattling, and it was rattling around in my mom's brain. And she would say she was concerned for me because she knew me as an Army brat. She saw the character that I had, but she also saw that. Let's just put it this way: I realized, even for myself, that as an Army brat, you're told what to do. My parents were telling me what to do. Going to West Point would be even worse. It would be that 24/7. And I didn't really realize that until it started to sink in, and I was 1 month away from going to Beast Barracks. And that month, I started to panic. And so I called Trinity University. I wrote my list of 5 schools that I did not think I could get into, and one of those was because of a 4-star general who is a close family friend of ours, said, "Hey, our son, Woody Merritt, went to Trinity University and he loved it. You need to talk to Woody." So I was able to talk to Woody. This is, of course, before the internet. I'm dating myself. All we had was the voice to talk and phones, no cell phones, and stories that our parents and our parents' friends told us. So I talked to Woody, and then I looked at the other schools, and the other schools said I had like a 2-step program to be able to even interview with them, and there just wasn't time. As you can imagine, it's 1 month before I'm supposed to be going to West Point, 3 months probably before I was supposed to be showing up at any school. And I will tell you that I called Trinity University, and the voice on the other end did not raise an eyebrow. And that impressed me, because if it were me on the other end of that phone, I'm pretty sure I would have raised an eyebrow. Like, this person just called me, telling me they're turning down West Point and they're interested in Trinity, and we've filled our class. There are no slots open. But yet this person had the audacity to pick up the phone and call us because she wants to change her mind. I was very, very lucky. And for some reason, they didn't think that I was crazy. And I was very lucky that within 2 hours, I had a decision. And of course, not only was my mother relieved, but my father also was relieved. And on the phone with him from Italy was quite jarring. Especially when he was like, "Are you sure you know what you want? You sure you know what you're doing?" And I couldn't confidently say yes, because at the moment I had not known. Back to why I chose Trinity. In my heart of hearts, I realized that I had no sense of personal responsibility and accountability before in my life, as an Army brat and as a child of wonderful and amazing parents and 2 fantastic sisters. Making my own decision, choosing the freedom to set my own schedule, take classes that I wanted to, and use the time that I chose the way that I wanted to. I realized that would not be my college experience had I gone to West Point. So I'm going to skip through. I'm very lucky to have had 2 smart sisters, and still have, one of whom went to Georgetown University on a 4-year Army ROTC scholarship. She was wise enough to realize that this might happen, that I might change my mind. And she coached me to apply for a 4-year Army ROTC scholarship, which I did. However, when you say no to West Point and you don't have a school to go to, all you have is a 4-year Army ROTC scholarship. Again, a plan of what not to do. So that embarked upon my discovery of other universities and talking to folks and being able to call Trinity. And I will tell you that that phone call, for me, made all the difference in the world. This is the best decision that I have likely ever made. In spite of everything that you saw in the video, I say that with my heart and soul. It changed my thinking. It opened my mind to critical thinking, to rhetorical analysis, contemporary religion, the world of economics and business. I actually started out as an engineer and quickly realized I couldn't do all those extracurricular commitments, my father would call those distractions, had I not been able to change from engineering to business. But that also inspired me, because it has so many different facets to it. I've made terrific friends here, some of whom are in the audience today. Thank you so much for being here. You all honor me by being here. I've been able to broaden my horizons about not just non-military communities through their eyes, but also through their accomplishments and what they have accomplished and their impact on the world. And I'm continued to be inspired by those who have gone to Trinity, not just in my class, but all of you who are here are that shining example. I had the opportunity to be in a sorority, play varsity soccer, be a cheerleader, learn how to study, like I have never studied in my entire life, before learning how to ask better questions, how to create possibilities in a developing and growing world with a growth mindset. Thank you to the many Trinity University grads who I've met, and even those that I haven't, but they continue to inspire me. There are many thank yous too, too many to share. And those words hardly even seem enough to say. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I truly believe that we stand on the shoulders of giants every single day trying to make a difference. Thank you to my parents, my sisters, the admissions council. Thank you so much for believing in me and seeing that opportunity for me. Dr. Butler, Dr. Van Andy, Dr. Huber, Dr. Ahrens, Dr. Grissom, and so many more. Even Dr. Cooey. Who not only impacted me academically, but also in achieving and receiving a rigorous business education, coupled with the liberal arts, very demanding but grounding education. To the Army, I owe a great deal in showing me what good leadership is all about and continuing to invest in me across my promotions and the opportunities to succeed. To IBM for giving me countless opportunities to demonstrate both business leadership and entrepreneurialism in leading acquisitions and different business units. In conclusion, I would just like to say, again, thank you, but I would also like to say that I would not be here if it weren't for my faith. A rare thing that I think people need to admit more of and be more vulnerable to state that. I grew up Catholic, but I would say that because of my education here at Trinity and because of my world education, both in the Army and IBM, I have broadened my scope of understanding and my core beliefs to be very inclusive of all religions, no matter what they are. And I think, though, I entrust in God's gratitude, His grit, and His grace that He gifted me along my journey. Thank you.
It's really powerful when one of your classmates is the distinguished alumnus. I know a lot of us from the class of '89 are here tonight to celebrate you. It also makes me wonder what I've done with my life. But anyway, congratulations. We are so inspired by the accomplishments and contributions of all the award recipients we've celebrated tonight, but we know there are many other talented alumni in our community who have not yet been recognized. So please be sure to nominate your fellow alumni or yourself for one of these awards. You can use the QR codes we provided on the back of your programs to submit your nominations for 2025. Now, will you please join me for a final round of applause for all of our award recipients? As we close, I'd like the awardees to please head directly back to the stage for your formal award photos as soon as we conclude. I look forward to seeing all of you at the festivities we have planned tomorrow, including an awesome Tiger tailgate before our football game against Barry and our always popular block party on Oakmont. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night.